The blowing up his phone and showing up to his house the next day, you need to get help if you're doing that to people. That's insane. Am I the devil? A subreddit similar to r/am I the butthole, except OP is clearly the person in the wrong. Let's get into it. This post is by Proper Penguin, and they've posted something here from r/dating advice, which is a subreddit I actually haven't looked at, so let's check it out. I hooked up with a guy on Hinge and it's ruining my life. For context, I've never been on Hinge before, let alone dated at all. I, 21F, was in a relationship/engaged for 5 years. I only knew one man my whole life. I recently downloaded Hinge and got to know a guy. Right off the bat, he was sweet talking me and wanted to see me the very same night. He was incredibly attractive, so I saw him and we had the best adult time of my life. I didn't know he was drunk until we started making out, but I didn't really care. It was rough and he lasted for hours, which I was happy with. Little TMI, but okay OP. Anyways, after I fell asleep at his place and woke up the next morning to him asking me to go on a date with him, I told him that wasn't what I was looking for. I only wanted something casual. I ended up leaving his place and he texted me later on that night asking me to come back over. We had amazing adult time again, but in the end he called me a liar because apparently he's in the army and was able to look into me and found out I used a fake name and lied about the state I live in and some other things. Love how you left out the other things, OP, cool. I apologized but told him that I'm meeting someone online, it's to be safe. Plus, I didn't want friends/family to know I'm on Hinge, and that I don't understand why he's upset if I didn't mislead him when it came down to telling him my intentions. I stayed the whole night and then woke up the next morning, he had left for work, and messaged him a long apology paragraph telling him this wouldn't work and we want different things. He wanted to get to know me, and that it would be a waste of time for us both. Really OP? He didn't respond until late that night, saying to take care. I don't know why the delayed and short response made me insane, because I then blew up his phone. Red flag. I just don't understand if he's hurt or what's going on. I don't get dating culture, but I don't get how his lack of responses made me spiral so hard that I show up to his place the next night. Oh dude, that's crazy. That's some crazy work. You need to get off Hinge. I would greatly appreciate knowing what you will make of this, or if it could be explained from a guy's perspective. I don't know, I just feel insane and like this is taking over my life. Now I do have some comments, but first we have an edit. I want to start by thanking everyone for their input. Reading the replies and processing this is still a work in progress, but I've learnt a lot. I know I was toxic with blowing up his phone and showing up at his place. He wasn't even that upset about me lying about my identity, by the way, and I still firmly believe you don't owe hookups your real name. He didn't even care because he knew I had lied before he slept with me the second time and still wanted to get to know me after. I do think obviously if you want to seriously get to know someone, they should know your identity, which is a different case than this. I think I've gathered that I need to do some inner work to understand why this controlled so much of my emotions and properly heal from my breakup. Jumping into one night stands in such an unsafe manner could have seriously put me in danger, and I didn't even see it then. For context, my ex and I broke off our engagement a month ago. To conclude, I need better coping strategies. Now she's really concerned about safety, but the first thing she does is pop up to his house. Crazy work. I was not even that bothered by the name thing. That didn't bother me. The blowing up his phone and showing up to his house the next day, you need to get help if you're doing that to people. That's insane. You can't just show up at someone's house because you don't like how they responded to your message. Don't do that. Not to mention you talk about safety and then sleep over at his house overnight. What are you doing? Also, what do you mean he was in the army and he just looked you up? I don't think that's a thing that people can just do, right? This post is from the Agony Aunt. Okay, this one seems to be about a wedding. Let's see what we got here. I, 23F, was invited to my friend's, 23F, wedding about 10 months ago. We've been friends for over 10 years, so obviously I was excited for her and I let her know I'd definitely try to be there. The wedding was in my hometown during my winter break from college, so I thought it would work out. So I RSVP'd yes and said I'd go. However, recently, I've really started to invest in my career. I'm an an actress. Okay. I've been working really hard for the last several months and been in conversations to get in with a big company and really make something out of my career. And I was offered a workshop with casting directors that same weekend as her wedding. Her wedding was Friday afternoon. I decided this was a really make or break moment for my career, so I let my friend know that I wouldn't be able to make it anymore and that I was sorry. This was about a week before the wedding. I let her know I'd try to stop by that morning before the ceremony. She seems fine with it at the time, sad I couldn't make it but understood, and I thought everything was fine. I stopped by morning of the wedding and greeted her and let her know how happy I was for her. The maid of honor and one of the bridesmen, also close of around 10 years, greeted me too, and they asked me what I was missing for. Technically, I can't really talk about specifics of the opportunity, so I let them know I had a business trip / workshop a few cities away and had to miss. I left that morning, went to the workshop, and it went very well for me. I shot my friend a text the morning after her wedding congratulating her and letting her know how happy I am for her. Anyways, I thought everything was good, but yesterday her maid of honor reached out to me. She basically said that she was pissed that I missed. The bride was super hurt I wasn't there, that I should have made it, all of that. I felt really bad because I had no idea my absence hurt her so much. I figured everything was okay because it seemed fine before. I sent her an apology text. I felt really bad because I don't think I stressed the importance of my workshop that weekend enough, so it probably made it seem like I missed her wedding for nothing. So I texted her and let her know how important it was that I attended and how I really wanted to try and make both work. She hasn't replied, and now the bridesman and maid of honor have both unfollowed me on a few platforms. I feel like under normal circumstances I obviously would have been there, but with something as important as a make or break opportunity like this, I just have to take it. I've gotten some conflicting opinions though, obviously. So, am I the asshole? I mean, I think we need more context. What was this workshop for? Is this a pyramid scheme, or is this actually a connection? Also, you made no effort to try to reschedule at all, so I feel like you're kind of an asshole for that. Let's see what the comments have to say. The make or break moment that original OP cancelled on the wedding for? It was a paid workshop that she had to empty her bank account to be able to attend. Also, the wedding was on a Friday. The workshop was on a weekend. So original OP didn't actually prioritize her career over her friend's wedding. She prioritized playing Uber for a friend who would be attending the workshop with her over the wedding. Commenter, my workshop, is this something you had to pay to attend? Original OP, yes, I emptied most of my bank account to go, lol. Commenter, you said the wedding was on Friday, but the workshop was that weekend. If you were able to drop in and say hi, why couldn't you stay for the ceremony? Why couldn't you do both? Original OP, I had to pick up my friend that went to the workshop with me from the airport that was a few cities away. Okay, yeah, you're definitely the asshole. That was some like instant context missing. Wow. So you didn't even miss the wedding for the workshop, was on the weekend, which I thought was weird because she did say weekend and the wedding was on Friday, but I was like, maybe it's a long drive, whatever. But it wasn't even for that. It was to pick up a friend from the airport. No, you were definitely the asshole. What is wrong with you? That's disgusting. A wedding is a once in a lifetime opportunity and you took that and went, can't go, I'm going to the airport, pick up my friend. They can get an Uber. Dude, like, okay, not only can they get an Uber, you could have just gone, but my god, no man, you are so the asshole. Obviously. This post is by Lovable Pet Care. Entitlement much? Let's get into it. I, 26M, have a group of 8 close friends, co-ed, 24 to 27. One of them is my fiance, Beth, 26F. We all met in college and tried to stay connected since then. We've had group dinners once a week for a few years now. These meals are always hosted at Alice, 25F, and Carter, 26M's home. Alice is an amazing cook. To credit her, she puts a lot of effort into it. She has appetizers ready when people get there, a big meal, meat, veggies, slides, and always makes dessert. We had our dinner on Sunday, and Alice said she needed to talk to everyone. Her and Carter were having a bit of a tough time making ends meet right now. She loved the dinners, but they can't afford to finance them right now, and that they were going to be on a tight budget the next few months. She proposed that everyone at dinner could help with a contribution of about $5 to $10 per meal, depending on how expensive it had been for her to buy ingredients plus prep and cook it. She didn't want to ask for money, but she thinks it's fair because of the time and effort it takes to put together these meals every week. If no one someone was comfortable with contributing, we would have to meet once or twice a month. Okay, that seems pretty fair. I was annoyed by this. Okay, here we go. And even more annoyed when most of our friends, including Beth, said that they would obviously contribute and to let them know if they needed anything else. The only other holdout was Tina, but for different reasons. Tina offered to host some dinners at her place and cook for everyone herself in exchange for not having to pay them. Alice and Carter were okay with it, but everyone, including myself, vetoed the idea. Tina's just an okay cook, and Alice and Carter's place is in a way more convenient spot for everyone and has more room. I just think it's ridiculous to make your friends pay for something that was supposed to be free. Is it free for them? When we started these dinners, it was a given that no one would have to pay to attend. I don't pay my friends for favors they do for me, and I don't expect payment. And it's not like she's a private chef or professional cook. They, probably mostly Carter, are just trying to get money out of us. I mean, this isn't a favor that they're doing for you. You're going to their house consistently for food. So I spoke up at dinner and said I didn't want to pay. I asked if Carter had to pay to attend the meal, and Alice said no because it's their shared home and he helps her cook and clean up. That made me more annoyed. Carter is a total freeloading loser. I wouldn't say insulting members of the household's the way to go, but okay. There was some things said as I was getting heated, and my fiance had us leave early. The whole car ride home, she was angry with me and saying I was a cheapskate, ungrateful and rude. She's been annoyed with me the past few days, and apparently a lot of the rest of the group is disappointed with me too. So me and my fiance sat down and she helped me write this post. There were some details I forgot, so I can prove to her that I'm not being unreasonable. There it is, Reddit. Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay for my friend to cook us dinner? I don't know why original OP thinks they're in the right so much. I really don't see it. I think it's pretty reasonable if you're going there constantly and they're having a tough time with finances to contribute $5. I feel like that's not that bad. This is a consistent meeting that you've been going to, and yes, maybe they swap drinks rarely. That's not really much at all. They've been cooking dinner for you constantly, consistently. What are you doing? You're just eating free food? It's not free for them. It's $5. They should ask for more, honestly. The level of entitlement that original OP has is ridiculous. Their mind is so clouded. This post is by Accurate Session. Oh joy, another prankster. So I've got the context here that this is from r/am_I_the_asshole, and it's 3 days old, so this is a pretty new post, so let's see what's going on here. I share an apartment with 2 roommates. We're all in our early to mid 20s. One recently dropped out of college and is unemployed, and spends most of the day playing Neopets in her room, and so I've been looking for ways to cheer her up. I play pranks on both of them every now and then, and they usually get good reactions. And while I was out thrifting the other day, I found a pretty sweet fog machine. The prankster in me thought it would be funny to fill up her room with fog while she was gone, so I took it home and waited for the moment to strike. She left early yesterday morning for a job interview, and so before I headed out to work, I set everything up and let it rip. About an hour or so later, she texted our roommate group chat asking, "Who the fuck filled up my room with fog?" I didn't realize she was actually angry at first, so I sent a laughing emoji. Good job, bud. Then she called me a few seconds later and asked me why the hell I would do that. I was a little taken aback and didn't know how to respond, so I semi-sarcastically said I was bored and that I thought she'd find it funny. She told me it wasn't funny and that she almost called the fire department because she thought it was actual smoke, which I kinda understood, but I felt in the moment that she was overreacting. Bro. I told her I was sorry, but that she didn't need to get so mad at me, and I guess that made things worse because she hung up immediately after. I wonder what caused that. I felt bad about it for the rest of the day and tried to apologize to her when I got home from work, but she didn't want to talk to me, and now I feel like a big jerk. She's still in her room. I don't know what to do here. I have good intentions and genuinely wanted to give her a good laugh after how things have gone for her lately, and honestly it felt pretty tame compared to some of the other stuff I've done. I talked with our other roommate and she thinks I definitely should have thought more before doing it, and I agree that I probably should have. I do kind of feel though that ignoring me after the fact after I tried to apologize is kind of unnecessary at this point. It's been a whole day. I feel like we should just be adults about this kind of thing. Be adults about this whole thing? Dude, you just put a fog machine in her room. How is that being an adult about things? Also, yeah, what about someone who has asthma? Like, like me. That's insane. You're actually putting people's life in danger for your prank. What is wrong with you? You want a prank? Try a whoopee cushion. What is this? That's wild. Who even thinks to do that? This was Am I the Devil? If you enjoyed this, make sure to go check out some other videos on my channel. If you agreed or disagreed with anything I said, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And also hit this button below me to get $1 billion, trillion, quadrillion dollars. And also I post new Reddit content every single day and 98% of people aren't subscribed, so please click it. Please click the button. Thank you, click the button. Click the button now. Only takes a couple seconds. Click the button, click the button, click the button, click the button.